as it was fenced, Harley's property was fenced, but that didn't stop them from dropping a whole load of garbage off in her pasture. So, you know, people do that at night, they come, they cut the locks, they knock the fence down. What can, you know?
Well, I mean, I've never seen anybody take anything down to the burn pit other than brush either, but yet when I go down there, there's mattresses, there's couches, there's doors, there's fencing, there's steel posts, there's steel fencing.
Oh, I seen it the other day. I seen
Yeah,
what you had pulled out. I'd seen it.
Yeah, so
all that-
it's all down there, and
Before,
I've never seen anybody take it down there, but
Is that gate ever
They-
locked?
no, but that it will be
It will
tomorrow
be.
morning.
But it's,
It'll be locked, and
So it's,
but we had that same issue when it was over here by 3rd Street,
well, people are just gonna start dumping back over there again when I lock that gate.
and, you know,
So
well, maybe we could just narrow it down to
we'll
maybe
get you in just a minute.
one day in a weekend, or, you know, when people are off of work and they can bring
Well,
stuff in there then.
I
Maybe.
mean, that was my thought.
Just a
If you were
question.
gonna man it, do 3 days a week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 hours a day each day. Bring your brush down there then, and
Have a game camera.
I mean, yeah,
But is that something that,
but
if we do it, would they
That's-
allow that? You know,
that's up to her.
That's
Or
up
not
to-
up to, it's up to
yeah.
Sean.
So before
Right.
I left the house, he said that sorry he couldn't be here tonight. He's babysitting.
Should've brought her.
That he does not want anyone on that road but city personnel only. There is no ands, ifs, or buts about it. If there continues to be city personnel, he will be looking at getting a lawyer and pressing charges.
Oh.
Because we've had our animals end up in our barn, locked in our barn. Our barn is only lockable on the outside, so it's not like my cow walks in and rubs its butt and locks itself in. We've had people in our pasture dumping stuff that is not supposed to be there.
I seen that the other day when I went
And-
down to look.
And
Mhm.
so it's just something that he is done with.
I don't blame her.
So where else would you guys,
Yeah.
is this
It's a
something,
place.
is this something that you guys want? Or think we need?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good
Yeah,
thing to have that
let's-
clarification.
Let's hold the noise down, okay? We do have this property up here, but then again, we would have
No,
to,
you can't do that because you've
What's the
already
matter
been
with
nailed
that?
by DEQ and you've got issues out there. I'm
okay?
telling you that. You got to clean up out there. I was out there.
There's been somebody dumping out there.
There's already been?
Yeah, you have issues out there that we have to deal with. So,
What was dumped out there?
you need to, there is out there, you need a lock on that gate and a sign, no trespassing, and they will be charged criminal play because it's not locked, but we have issues and we'll take that up at another time when it's on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll lock it up.
absolutely.
We'll lock it up.
I agree, I would like to continue seeing burn pit.
I would too.
I don't know, when I was public works director, we ran into the same issue. I issued a letter out to the entire town and said that it was enough, and that if it continued, I was gonna shut it down completely 100%, and it got better for a while. As far as the smoke and stuff burning down there, that's an issue that's fairly easy to take care of with the smoke issue, is you don't let it get so big.
Yeah.
I agree.
Burn it more often. That's the only way you're gonna keep, I mean, it's still gonna smoke, but it's not gonna smoke as big and as long. When we let that pit get so full, and then you do burn it, then it's smoldering for days and days and days.
And we just don't let people, I think we send out a letter and they don't, you're not hauling in these huge trees, you know,
Mm.
4-inch limbs.
Contractors.
Well, and see,
I mean,
now,
that was that tree service,
They've been,
there again, we
whole
have to,
trees. Like,
everybody would have to be vigilant in order to catch somebody, because we're not there all the time.
Yeah, but if you hook up a game camera back there, and people are, tend to watch that down there better than, because it's right on a main deal, that you've got neighbors that watch.
I do.
Good job.
Let me-
Yeah.
I haven't seen
let me
any
bring up
doctors see
another-
furniture.
Another
Must come at
prospect
night or
here.
something.
There you go, that's how she can repay me. Sherry can keep an eye on it for me.
Okay, but there's something else here that may be in the works. Now, last year, we had an investor interested in that property. The council at the time did not want to sell any property. Now, would this council consider selling that property for housing development?
I mean, we're still looking at trying to get the ball
Huh?
field.
Where's this at? You're talking about?
Hey,
Down there where the old
Ten.
money pit is.
10,
Not even close.
Those
10,
9 lots.
10. We're off topic.
Not that one.
Okay. Anything else on the burn pile?
We have to find a place, I guess.
Yeah.
May I say something? When I
No.
used to go down there before, more signs, not enough signage,
Okay.
that's all.
I agree.
Alright.
Put that down.
You got it.
Okay. Okay, let's go ahead, or we'll wait in just a little bit, we'll get to you on the question.
Well, you're going somewhere else. I was gonna suggest this piece that you was gonna lease. It's already been a burn pile.
We can't.
It was at a dump one time.
That's what Tammy just said, we're already, we can't dump anything out there.
I'd have an issue with that because of fire. Burning out there would be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, moving.
There's a lot of variables to that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Burn at the firehouse.
is that something that you guys want to look at or consider and move to another agenda time? No, you want to just,
I think we can put it on for another agenda time, see if we can't come up with some ideas in the meantime of what to do. Just put it on another agenda.
okay,
Oh, good.
let's put the burn pile on a different agenda item.
Okay.
At the next meeting. Okay. Setting up funds for the river bank project. I will have to turn that over to,
Okay, so we kind of took it upon to write a letter, because you guys have talked about that, that we could drop off at houses, and you have it before you. We would have to set a date as to when you wanted that money in, if you wanted it in one payment. Otherwise, we have to run a resolution, and I am going to tell you this right off the bat, there are going to be those people that are going to force you to run a resolution. There might be an alternative, and I didn't write it in there. It winds up being like $80. It was 21,000, so people know. I did not put the numbers in there because I knew some money had come in. Let me explain it that way. And my understanding is any money that comes in, if somebody was to walk in and pay $500 and put it towards a deal, that comes off the whole deal unless you name certain individuals and put it on their bill, okay, guys? So you understand that part. So that's why no hard numbers are set in the deal, and there is no date set in the deal. And that's up for the council to decide. You know, do you wanna go 2 months, and anybody who doesn't come in after 2 months, we run a resolution? And I think the other thing is when you run that resolution to be fair to the taxpayers, I hate to even put what their monthly payment is, because this is gonna require 2 meetings on us, which is a financial, that's finances, and that should go on that deal. There will be 2 meetings that require time from Harley that should go on that bill. And so we have it figured at 7 something a month, but it should be more than that. It'd be like, you gotta pay $80, and, or if you don't wanna pay your $80 up front, you can pay $10 a month or something like that to make up for that differentiation in cost.
Yeah, the administrative cost.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yes.
To everybody? But it's just an idea, I did write the letter, you can look at it, anybody can change whatever they want to change on it. I mean, and I would say like 60 days, we give them 60 days to come in. I think my daughter was the one that kind of come up with this idea and helped me out a little bit, and she had this idea that we can put it on Facebook, but us as a council go out, walk the town, put them in envelopes with a rubber band that we can leave on the door, and knock on the door, and then if they have a question, you know, they can ask us, but our names are on there and stuff like that. And just kind of try to get the word out that way, but it's up to you guys.
Okay, well, it sounds like you've really gone a long ways in getting this proposal ready. But we do need to come up with the hard numbers
Yeah,
and
I got
figure
it.
out time. I would say, let's move and have another
I think that,
agenda item with it at the next meeting,
okay,
where you guys can have the hard numbers and then figure out a date to do it.
okay.
Would that be acceptable to the council?
Yeah, I'm all for leaving it a working document
Anybody?
as of right now, and then
Yeah.
kinda see on donation side going forward and give the
Okay.
community some more time, cause what you got here is gonna be great moving forward.
Is that okay?
Yeah,
Did
I
you
think-
read through it,
yeah, I
okay?
think where you're going on
Everybody
is
was
solid.
explained well enough? I
I think so.
For as many working pieces there is to it, that's about as clear as you can make that.
Okay, okay.
And
'Cause
it's
you're
just
all
gonna
for-
take time to get your exact figures.
Well, and I think Harley is gonna have to figure the figures for the monthly deal, because there's meetings, there's advertising is the other thing. So you have all those costs, and I just don't feel it's right to the other people who pay their $80-some up front
Yeah, to get signed.
to be paying now, you know,
Well, it comes out to, if we didn't do anything else, and we went just straight off the thing, it's $87.59
yeah.
up front.
Mm-hmm.
Or, excuse me, or it would be $7.30 a month. But by the time, what you're saying is by the time we start adding in all the advertising and all the stuff like that, those additional costs on there, it's gonna be a little bit more. But if we could come up with the $88 right off the bat and go from there, like you were saying, go through there and get as much of this money in as we can before we come up to figuring out what it's going to.
Well, we can drop that last line and just say the 87 whatever, if you choose, and if you don't choose, there will be administrative costs figured in and a monthly rate, and we don't know what that is until administrative costs, because you have to run the resolution anyway, and keep it simple.
You have to run two
Yeah,
resolutions.
yeah. We have to run it twice, but what I'm saying is we won't have to figure that all out. We could do that
No.
at that time.
Okay.
So it'd be your $88 up front, but if you so choose to do the 12-month thing, then it's going to be.
Yeah,
The
with this,
$7.30 plus.
We'll
and
just-
then it's whatever that number could be, it could end up being $12, $13 a month.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like that idea.
I like that, the way that is.
The question, what cost are you realizing for what, advertising?
You have to run an ad twice if you're going to change people's rates and do it throughout for a year. It is required by code that we have to advertise twice. Then we
Where do
have
you
to have
advertise it?
in the Carter County News. And
Okay,
your paper of origin here. And then you have to have 2 council meetings on that. And so all of us are paid for that. And then Harley has the extra bookwork of minutes and putting it all out there, running the ad. All of that time starts adding up.
Well, and
Yeah,
you
you-
have, so you have to do 2 resolutions, a resolution of intention.
Yeah,
And that has to be ran in the newspaper. and then you actually have to write your resolution, and then that has to be advertised in the paper, so
And-
technically it's 4.
And then
Give me
there's,
another option,
and what's that?
another option.
And then a
Well,
letter to the residents.
no, our
for-
option
You're
is that,
talking, you know, dollars are inflated here, everybody's got more time,
The
more.
main option is everybody pays the $88 and it's
yeah,
done.
that's what we're trying to get the point across of, that it, you know,
Well, if we have people who donate into a fund, it's gonna lessen the cost on some of the other folks.
Exactly.
What
Yeah.
would happen
What would
if
help, I think.
you guys go around with this and we get, say, 50–60% of it? What would be wrong with the council approving the remainder to come out of our water fund?
then you're expecting certain people to pay and other people not to pay. I
Yeah,
kind of
it
find
has
that
to- it has to
arbitrary,
be-
Yeah, but if
capricious
you're
there.
asking for donations,
It
And
has
not-
to be fair across the board.
Yes,
It has to be fair to the whole community,
yes.
so it can't, we
So,
can't do
yeah,
that.
well,
couldn't do that.
Nobody's gonna pay them,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially under that
Everybody's
conditions.
can't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Why would you?
good idea. It's a good idea and everything like that, but if you make that proposal out there, then everybody's gonna say, I ain't gonna pay, town's gonna cover it anyway,
And
so
then-
why pay?
And the deal is, Tim, if we take it out of our funds, we're already going to be facing another rate increase. And you put that rate increase just on the people who paid.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we may have to do that anyway, but
Let's
that'll
see
be
where
for a
this-
meeting down the road.
Let's see where this takes us.
Okay, now Jerry had a question. He's got-
I was just learning, you might wanna hurry up and get that done, because if you throw $80 on these people, $7 a month, plus the new rate we're gonna be getting for water, that's gonna piss a lot of people off.
Well, and that's what, I'm trying to make it to where it's, what was written, I think, was trying to make it fair to everybody and not take money out of water funds, so we have to, we might have to, we're hoping we don't. And that's why I get very.
Do you have an idea how much the water rate is gonna go up?
Well, see, now
No,
that's something that they're gonna have to look at next month, because they're gonna have to sit down and figure how much, we're gonna put hard numbers to it. They'll have the exact number that they have to come up with, and they have the exact number of houses that need to be worked into it. And then they can divide that all out and break it all down. And that'll be discussed at the next meeting as to what the numbers are. And then at the next meeting, they can decide whether they need to have that go forward and with a resolution, to have another resolution, and they can pick the dates and times for that.
It might be better just to raise the whole thing at one time instead of hitting them one time, then a couple months
Well, and
later
that's,
hit it again.
when you start looking into these rate increases, the town has not had a rate increase for, I don't know how long. I do know things are getting
Last
more
project.
expensive. They're doing a study
2017.
right now for the sewer to see what we're gonna have to raise our sewer rates.
those were done in 2016 or 17.
And then we need to look at the garbage is another one, but you know, all that, the rate increases, and I don't know if we can look at all of them at once, or we have to do individually.
You have to do them individually.
So, you know, you're looking at a lot of resolutions to have resolutions over the course of the next year.
Mhm.
But it'll all be, you know, they'll have the hard numbers for next meeting.
So if
So-
I understand you correctly,
Okay.
all this money would have to be, say the donation money goes in a certain account. And if we were to divide that with all the people who use the water or hooked up to the
That's
water,
what it has to be.
that would cut everybody's rate down.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
But now, don't forget, these are donations, so some of us, okay, we're gonna be hurt because we're making donation, and we still gotta make the regular thing.
Well, that's,
But, that's on us,
yeah, but that's what we're saying,
yeah.
is it,
Well, yeah, if we could make it even for everybody,
well, that's
get a
what
little
we're,
bit.
that's what we're trying to do, but,
Yeah, so it's
it would
something
save-
that's gonna have to be worked out in a different meeting.
Yeah,
And you may have to call this a
87, how
special
much if we
meeting.
pay it up front right now?
87.59.
Okay.
So that'll be something that we may have to set up a special meeting for. Just to deal with the one items on that. Okay.
Well, have we had a
So-
rate increase on water?
Not since 2016 or 17 it was.
Mine was up $5 the last month. From 45 to
Okay.
50.
Okay, so we need to make a motion to move this so we can have it on the agenda.
I move to
For-
table and add to the agenda of setting up funds for the Riverbank project to the March meeting.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to move the setting up the funds for the Riverbank project to the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Table of fees.
That's on me. I'm not gonna be very popular on this. Okay, so table of fees was done in 2011, has not been updated whatsoever, and I kinda looked at ours, and then I had Amber from Joliet send me hers, and then I went and talked to Kristen Sweet. So here's the deal on some of this, and I've learned a lot. There's different policies at different places, and when I talk to Kristen Sweet, I really listen to what she has to say, because she's very sharp at what she does. And so, you know, I was like, I got Joliet's and I about had sticker failure. I mean, I was like, are you kidding me? This is what their rates are on some of this stuff? Their business licenses were just astronomical. And so I talked to Kristen Swede, and she said, what happens in these smaller towns when you don't have a lot of land to lease, Bridger has a ton of land to lease. You raise your rates to kind of compensate on certain areas, like your dog tags, your business licenses. And by no means am I thinking of going Joliet's price range. What I would like to do is have permission to set up a deal to where I could have some meetings like on a Saturday or something, because that's kind of like my day off. And I have a couple people that are interested in helping me, and just tossing ideas, and it's open to the public, it'd be advertised, and tossing ideas to come up with kind of like a game plan. Some of our deals do need to be increased, you know, and we need clarification on some deals. Like we have the hookups, I think it says $1,000, and I was talking to Harley the other day. And Joliet's is very specific with, and you will pay additional for all supplies. And then there's kind of a deal that people know that they are paying for the supplies, not just the hookup. If I come in here and it says $1,000, I'm assuming, would you not assume, that $1,000 and you're walking out the door and you're getting all hooked up, right? So it's for clarification and some deals, you know, like Joliet had one, dog tags were due May 1st. And if you didn't have your dog tags picked up by May 30th, there was a $25 deal on that. And just talking to the water guy in Joliet the other day, they gave him a clicker. So I don't know, how many dog tags do we have? Do you know?
23.
23? Okay. They gave these guys,
There's not a lot.
they gave these guys a,
Yeah.
they gave these guys a clicker that read meters, and they're clicking. They come up with 157 dogs in the town of Joliet. They have 30 dogs that are licensed. So you're short this huge deal. And so what she did is she just stuck on the next water bill out. By the way, if you have a dog, I recommend you come in and get it licensed, and or I will be sticking it on your next water bill. There was 60 people that come in and license their dogs. So, you know, it's just for that purpose. But all I'm asking is if you guys are interested, otherwise I won't. So.
Yeah, I'd love to see a proposal, even if you have like comparable of what we have, what you'd like to see changed out of, and
Okay.
especially an outside committee besides what's just here.
Well, and then that way we bring you something solid. You're not wasting time in here. Yes.
I can tell you the hookup fee is $750,
Okay,
and the total hookup, and that guy brought a lot of his own, like he had his own saddle and tap, or
Uh-huh.
saddle and, cork valve and everything like that, which is fine, but it was $2,695.
yeah, I mean, we need to let people
It was
know
identical to the
this.
one I had.
Doesn't matter,
Uh,
you're held responsible if that fails to the town.
Sure.
You need, the town needs to provide that, we provide from the main to the curb stop. Any of those parts in between, you need to provide.
Well, and
Because if they go and say, well, it's the same set that you go, yes or no? The one that was taken off somewhere else, that was bad.
Right.
You see what I'm
I get
saying?
that.
I'm just saying, that's a liability issue there that we need to make sure that we don't.
Right.
well, and see by this, talking to Mike right here, we've got something to put down in black and white. We have to provide the parts, and here's why. This is a liability issue, and this is what the parts are gonna run you.
I mean, I could see that, but it's
Okay,
similar with like doing plumbing at your house. You can do the plumbing and have a licensed plumber inspect it. I mean, the guy had the parts. I looked at them; they were all brand new, out of the bag from Northwest Pipe. Exactly the same as the ones I had from Northwest Pipe. I failed to see.
I'm
What's
just
the
saying, be
difference?
very cautious on it, that's all I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely, no. If
Well,
it
let's-
looked like anything used, it would not have been.
Okay, we need to go ahead and continue and move on.
So,
So we need to have this moved to, are you gonna review it, or do you wanna review this at the next council meeting? Your findings?
well, why don't you let me go with these
Yeah,
guys?
see what she gets, it might be a deal where she needs 2 months and brings it
Yeah.
up to 2.
Okay, we'll bring it up when you want, to
Well,
get it on the
if they're
agenda.
okay with me doing it,
Yeah.
I
Are you
don't
guys
wanna
okay?
be.
I'm good, 100%.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay,
well, let's go ahead and we'll just wait for
okay.
your cue when you wanna do that. Audit update.
That's on Harley.
What do we got? for
I
audit?
told you to put it on there so you could explain to the council why we can't do an audit.
Oh.
Okay,
Yep, so our audit update, the furthest we can go back is 2017. And that is because that is the time that Kirsten actually started coming in here and getting our books reconciled and like going in the correct direction. So we could only go back to 2017. However, we did look at the cost for an audit.
For forensic
and-
audit?
Yes.
Yes.
And it was $14,000.
okay. And who's that with?
okay.
Downing.
Yep, Downing.
Deming and Downing?
Yep.
Okay. I like it.
Now, and something else that Mr. Downing brought up is that if you guys want him to send the person that did the last audit down here and talk to the council, he can do that. It'll only cost between $3,000 and $4,000 for him to come down and do that.
I talked to him on the phone.
So, yeah, but he said that, when I talked to him just the other day, that's what he said. $3,000 or $4,000 to come down here and discuss it with the city council.
He's also good if you pick up the phone and call him.
Yeah, very good. Very good accountant. But,
Got a question.
go ahead. Well, it's, do you guys have anything else?
Well, we can't do this, we can't even vote on this because we can't do this until books are reconciled
Yeah.
anyway. So it was just an update was all
It's
it
just an
was.
update.
Just an
Yeah.
update on that, yeah.
And
Okay. But that's for the forensic audit. Okay. The HB 355 grant, just hold on and we'll get to your question.
So the HB 355 is for structures and like the city hall, the concession stands, updating the bathroom or the kitchen area, getting our bathroom ADA compliant, new doors on the building, windows. But it has to be has to be a structure that's already
existing.
existing. It cannot be for parks, it cannot be for grass, water usage.
But can it be for pipes?
No.
Water mains or anything like that?
No.
Okay. You did say asphalt at one time.
For the
Streets.
basketball courts,
Mm-hmm.
but not for streets.
Okay. Cause they had talked about one time, somebody had said something, I think we had talked about it at one meeting or something for streets. Okay, so it can be for streets, but it could be for the basketball court.
Yes, yep,
Okay.
that falls under
Okay.
the specs.
Okay.
There's a lot of what you can and what you can't do on this grant.
Okay.
Um,
The reason I had her bring this up, Nate, is because we have that 25,000.
Right. This is a lot of money.
And this is a matching type deal, or what is it, a
yep,
25%?
so 25% match, so
And-
it's, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can stretch the dollar a lot farther.
So I would,
Mhm.
Nate is responsible for those that don't know, bringing 25,000 into this town after the flood through Stillwater Mine. And him and them decided to designate it to parks. And I would really like to see Nate, I mean, if you have time or something, I'd go with you. I'd really like us come up with a solid game plan for this and make that 25,000 go as far as we can make it go down there at the park or whatever. And it can't go for sidewalks, right? Okay. My thing is though, in this building, you guys are talking handicap doors and stuff, nobody's talked a roof. I'm
It
sorry,
would
I
go
mean,
for that as well, but
if you guys are considering something, you better consider a roof before you consider anything else.
well, that's you guys to consider.
Okay. I'm just telling you, I mean, what, they're saying bathrooms and stuff, and I'm like, roof, roof.
Well, actually, our building could be shut down because we aren't ADA compliant in our bathroom.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean, if you don't have a roof, you don't have a building.
Yeah. But
And
that
we are
is,
close.
yeah, but that is something that
Okay.
does cover that
Okay.
as well.
Okay, sorry about that.
And who were you thinking about, now this is something that's gonna have to be administrated to make sure that the money is being spent where it needs to be spent properly? Is that something that you are willing to do then?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm doing that, yeah.
Okay, and are you gonna have enough time to be able to do that? Okay.
Yeah, we're almost done with our books. I have 5 more months, me and Kirsten do. And then we should be caught up, budget done, and we're hoping to have that by March meeting. We've just been running into a lot of hiccups and finding stuff. And, we have to allocate it before we put out our budget, or else if we do go to audit, then we could get in trouble. So we're trying to make sure our I's are dotted and T's are crossed before we go ahead and get that sent out.
Okay. So, what we're gonna do then is Nate and Tammy are gonna get together and look at it through the course of the next month or two, and then we'll wait for you to decide